Welcome to the second part of the WordPress 5 Gutenberg York tutorial series, working with blocks and document settings. In the first part, we went over two major impacts: the new Gutenberg Editor, its layout and features. If you missed it, see the page or the description for the link below. In this part, we will learn the types of blocks or groupings of blocks, working with blocks through adding, editing, nesting, and properties, moving them around. Page templates available to YorkU staff, and what's the difference between the 2 or 3 templates that we do have. Let's begin. Okay, so I have created a new page, a blank canvas for us to use as we go along in this video. I'm going to go ahead and give it an appropriate title. Let's call it Working with Blocks and Document Properties. Let's make title case. Alright, so our first topic is the types of blocks of the grouping. So I'm going to go ahead, as per last video, click Add Block. Now here you see blocks, patterns, and then there's another one called reusable. Oh, there it is. We will go into patterns and reusable in the next video. This video I want to focus on basically the blocks aspect and everything that's related to the blocks. So the first grouping of blocks that we have is text, which basically encompasses all of your headings, your paragraphs, your quotes. The list icon, it gives you a little preview on the right hand side. So if I go classic, there's no preview, but for a table, pull quote, pre-formatted quote. So that'll give you the idea. The next one is media, and most of them are self-explanatory, which is anything that's media related. Your image, you want a gallery, you have an audio file, you have a PDF you want to put for people to download, a cover image, which we can explore in one of the later videos. Media and text, if you just have maybe a video or an image and you just have a text with it. Moving on, we have the design, and this is basically your formatting of page breaks, columns, grouping elements together, adding space, separator. Next we have widgets. These are your same widgets that we talked about that we would keep in the sidebar in the older themes. Shortcut, RSS feed, your news feed, your social icons. Maybe you have some custom text or a list of archive pages or any other widgets that you may be using. And finally, we have the embeds. Right now, only the YouTube embed is enabled, but you may be later, if your IT department allows, be allowed to embed Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, and other third-party vendors that will let you embed things onto web pages. So that is all for the types of blocks or the groupings of blocks. Patterns and reusable, as mentioned, we will explore that in the next video. The other thing that you see over here up top, search for a block. You may have a lot of blocks eventually, so you could just quickly look up a specific one that you were looking for and it'll pop up. And that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and close it. Alright, next we're gonna go on to adding, creating, editing blocks. So I'm gonna bring up the menu again. And I'm gonna start with adding a heading. And I could just, oh, actually I have something opened up here. Research. Let's borrow from research innovation, shall we? Close this. And there I just did a Command V, or if you're in Windows, it'll be Command Control V for pasting what I had just copied on the other side. Now, in the first aspect, let's say I want to change, usually after H1, H2 follows, but if I had, let's say, more data, more paragraphs, and I wanted to change the heading, I can just quickly click on the second option and pick which heading I want. So I can set 3 or 2. The first option is that if I wanted to change the block type, because we're in the text category, in the text category, I can change it to one of the other text aspect as well, with the exception of group. The other part is change alignment. So if I wanted to align it center, I can do so. I can make it bold. I didn't select it. Hold on. It's already bold, but say I want it bolder. No, didn't do much. I can italic. I can hyperlink it. So I can just type the URL and it'll hyperlink it. This is the more rich text controls. So I can say inline code, inline image, strike through, subscript, text color. You may not need to do this unless you really have to override the text color over here. And that takes me to the other part, but let's just expand the last menu here. Here you will see the usual copy, duplicate, insert, after, before, move to. Add this to a reusable and group we will explore in the next video, and then finally delete or remove a block. I can duplicate it if I want. And on the right hand side, which we talked about in the first video where we talked about the document, which was a copy from the previous WordPress 4, the other tab which we didn't touch much about on was the block. Here, if I wanted to change the color, the advanced settings, this will change like the top based on the block you're on. So right now I'm in the heading block. So for example, if I wanted to change the color, I have an option for text color and background color. The reason you see all of these colors as the York colors is because we have set it up that way. If you do not see this, do not panic. You can still use custom color and add the hex value of the color that you want to use, which is within your guidelines. But I am going to make this York red, medium. Let's make it dark. And if I want, I could give it a background, which will not look good, but it's not bad, but it's not per the standard. Just for this tutorial, we'll do it. Next, I want to add another paragraph. I'm gonna, instead of clicking up top here, I'm going to click here. Let's say paragraph. And this time again, I'm going to borrow from Research and Innovation. I'm going to right click and copy this time, just that everyone can see. Boom. Alright, and now I would like to add another, let's add an image, let's add a media. So this time I'm going to say insert after. And now a third way that I can add, not going here, not clicking here, but rather doing a / will bring up a menu that I can select from. So I'm using the arrow key to go up and down. I click enter on image. I have 3 options. I can upload the media, insert from the media library, or from a URL. I have a few images preloaded already, so I'm going to use my media library. Let's see what's a good image. And let's use this one. There you go. And just to see what it looks like, we're going to go ahead and preview. Now I can preview what it looks like on a tablet, on a mobile. This may not give you the most accurate layout, but it gives you an idea. I still prefer desktop and previewing in a new tab, and then I can always resize the window or use an inspector to make it a responsive preview that I want to see. There we go. There's our text, our image. I want to maybe have this image on the right hand side rather than over here. It seems a little too big. So let's just go back. And I'm going to go ahead and add a column. If I do it from here, I can do it from there too. But here it'll show me up. Let's scroll down. Column. And I want this to be, let's do 50-50. Let's see what it looks like. I can change the percentage here if I want to, but for now let's just go with the flow, as they say. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to click and hold to move down and drag it until I see it. Oh, there it is. Release. There's the image. I'm going to click here. Again, drag and hold. And drop. It kind of looks funny here, but when we preview it, it may not, because we have a bigger canvas when the whole web page is loaded. That worked, but the image looks all messed up. I should have used a different one. But let's see what we can do. Let's try to fix it. Back. Click on the image. And we have a few options here. Large. Let's make it 50%. If it goes a little off canvas of your editor, don't worry. It'll be fine. That looks much better. So much better. So I like this way. I want to add more text below it. I'm going to go back to research and innovation. Let's copy this whole text this time. So we have a heading and a paragraph and a hyperlink in the heading. Go back. You see a little plus, that means there's a paragraph there already. Right click, paste. Now it should bring in, I'll press escape here to get rid of this menu here. So we have our job spotlight, and the message came in as is with our formatting that we have for our headings by default. Well, in that case, I changed that. Now let's say I wanted to move things around. Now in this case we're fine, but just for purposes, I want to have the job spotlight and the paragraph above the research revision. And the other way I can move, I'm in edit mode, is I can just click on this once and I'll move it up. I don't move it up. And same thing with the paragraph. More. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and preview. Should be generating. There it is. And there we go. It moved up. Let's go back to our editor. And that's pretty much how you go about creating and adding blocks in Gutenberg. There will be some complications that you may hit, but it's on case-by-case basis. You know, I can do other cool things like they've added, for example, if I click here, I can say drop cap, and all of a sudden the York Y is amazingly nice. Deleting blocks is not a problem either. I can just right click, delete or remove block. The other part I want to mention is you notice all these shortcuts. You can do them and they will save you time once you get used to them. So this one is Shift. The flower is the Mac command key, and D. Oh, it will D because of the shift. So let's try that. I'm going to click here. Command Shift D. There we go. Created 2 spotlights. No, I don't want them, either of them. The other way I can do it is if I go and select, I've just selected 2 of them, and I can move them together now. I can also delete them or duplicate them. I'm going to go ahead and delete them. The other half of this video, or the part that's remaining, is the document property or the templates that we have. Currently, there's only 2 templates that you can use. One is the default template that we've been using, and the other one is a secondary page. So a default one you would use mainly for if it was your landing page or your home page. And secondary page would be pretty much anything else that you wanted a banner on. And the major difference is that in the secondary image, you can have a feature image, and in the default template, even if I set this feature image, it's not going to show up. So just to show you, go ahead and add it. Let's use the research and innovation banner, shall we? Set feature image. Now here's the little catch. If I say preview, it may not show. I may actually have to update or publish the page to actually see it, but I could be wrong. Yeah, see, it did not show up. And the Y is different is because that's how the internal styling has been done. I'm going to go ahead and publish. Yes, immediately. Now there's my view page. As you can see, the banner did not show because we're on the default template. I'm going to go back and edit. I'm going to go ahead and change my default template to a secondary page, assuming this is a secondary page. Preview will not do it, but just to show you guys. Yep, didn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll click update page. There we go. And it shows up nicely. Let's go back and edit. If you happen to, and this has happened to me, if you happen to miss that little pop-up on the bottom that says view page after publication, don't panic. You can always come back to the document and click the link here, and it'll take you to the same spot, the page. Or you can always click the view pages and it'll take you back. Or click here, you can come out of full screen mode, and you can go back to pages or the main website. Many ways to do it. So that is it for this video. Let's go on to the summary. Congratulations on completing the second video in the tutorial series. Let's summarize what we learned in this one. We learned about the kinds of blocks that there are. We added a heading, a paragraph, and an image. We played around with the block settings by changing the text's color and added a background color to it. We copy-pasted content from another page into the Gutenberg Editor page, into columns, which was very problematic in the old WordPress editor. We looked at the different page templates that we have, the 2 that are available to the YorkU patrons. I encourage you to go ahead and create a page using blocks and what we learned in this video. Rewatch this video if you need to, and keep on learning. I will see you in the next video, where we'll go into reusable blocks and patterns. Until then, take care. Cheers. Thank you for watching WordPress 5 Gutenberg York 2020 series. If you have any questions or comments about this video or the tutorial series, you can email them to me at sadikan@yorku.ca. Or if you have any theme-related technical issues or you're a faculty member, you can email them to UIT at askit@yorku.ca. Take care and stay safe.